hungry? A little hangry? It's okay. We'll be sweet. We don't want you to be hungry. We gotta focus on that digestive health, right? Doterra's on, that was amazing. Honestly, it's been such a wonderful, I hope you've just kind of gotten your inner nerd on. This whole session is just my happy place, I tell you what. I have a question for you. I want you, if you have ever thought to yourself, I want to share this with my doctor or my whatever, physical therapist. If you've ever done that, stand up. If you've ever thought, oh, there's that scientist, I wonder what they would think of this. Oh, that skeptical person in my life. If you've ever thought, I wish I could share that with them, stand up. Okay, everyone who's still sitting, stand up anyway, because we've been sitting too long. Now, if you've ever thought that, if you've ever thought in a second beat, how do I do that? Or, oh my gosh, they won't listen to me. If you ever thought that, go ahead and sit back down. That's what we want to talk about today. We want to empower you to be able to talk about some of this stuff that you've heard today with our medical community. Scientists and skeptics, and I'm kind of cutting out. You know if you can't hear what I'm saying. Posing is good. Pointing out is better. For much of the history of our science of essential oils, we simply didn't know. We have supposed how they work, because we can see that they work. We're now finding out exactly why they work. And you get a chance to now share that information with very important people in our communities, which are physicians, doctors, nurses, scientists. These are people who, up until this point, have looked at what we do, what we know, and said, that's ridiculous. That's flim-flam, that's snake oil. Now we say, not so, and we can prove it. So, what an amazing time to be with Doterra. We, right from the beginning, have put in all the work to build this company upon the foundations of science, right? The science of essential quality, essential oil safety, essential oil efficacy. Now, how have we done that? I can tell you in 4 letters. You guess? CPTG, right? Science and consistency, research has to be based on a product that we can count on. So I remember Dr. Hill, 20 years ago maybe, had a conversation. He shared with me a vision of essential oils that did not exist at that time, which was essential oils that would be consistent enough to do clinical research. I'm making. Can we change mics, or can I use a hand? This one keeps cutting out. Michael can help me here. Thank you. Right. Gonna switch. Oh. Better? Okay. Onward. When Dr. Hill shared that vision with me about essential oils of a quality and consistency we could count on and research with, I thought, oh, isn't that nice? I could see the vision, but I could see no way to get there. He could. And that's why when Emily Wright called me in 2008 to tell me about the new company that was forming, based on that, I said, where do I sign up? Now, research has been going on ever since. With Doterra essential oils, it is doing things and finding things that have never been seen before. You know this, right? Now, how do we bridge the gap? How do we take what you know, what you see, what you've experienced, and talk to those who don't understand yet? How do we take this research and translate it and understand it and use it? How do you, when you're sitting in your doctor's office and they're talking to you about, what medications might be prescribed for this or that or the other, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, there are other ways. How can I tell them this? We're going to talk about some of those ways today. If you've got your phone, I want you to take it out. And I want you to go to a little website that I love called source2u.com. Anyone ever been there before?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, not lots of you though. If you've got your phone, go to source2u.com. There is a little part of the menu there that's called the Doterra Difference. Has anyone been to that little part of the website before? Okay, about 5 of you. Good. This will be a fun experience for all of us together then. The Doterra Difference is a place that you are going to be able to have some of the tools you need to talk to scientists, doctors, professionals, skeptics. This is where we have resources for you that I hope are exciting for you, because this is the culmination, my friends, of many, many years of work and research and experience. So, this, I would say, is a very fitting thing to call. It's the Doterra Difference page on the source2u.com, because it talks about what makes Doterra different, and it talks about this kind of research that we're now able to leverage. And you know what? Based on what we've heard from Dr. Riggs, from Dr. Ma, from Eliza, the world is ready to start listening to these kinds of new resources in ways that they may not have been even a decade ago. Yes. Sorry, I can't hear. I believe we have access to these slides. Michael, do you know? Yes, so you will have access to these. For sure. And these are screenshots from the site that I just sent you to on source2u.com. So don't worry about that. You will be able to have access to all of the things that are here. Thank you. Okay, so basically on this site, you get to see what Dr. Osgothorpe introduced last convention, which is doTERRA's duplicatable, replicatable model of research. Now, this is filling in gaps that have existed in the literature forever. They've never been filled in yet. We are going to be able to define essential oil purity and consistency. We're going to be able to check potency. We have new novel delivery systems and studies on efficacy. And it's this cycle that one thing after another, we're checking on our essential oils and producing publications that will be shareable and for you to be able to have in hand when you talk to doctors. Right? So, it just kind of goes through each of those steps. And what I love about this site is it gives you ways to talk about it. It kind of translates it into phrases and words that are understandable for pretty much anyone on any level. Right? You don't have to know now how to go in and learn the p-value of a scientific study and understand the calculations for a sample size adjustment. Now you know how to talk about it. The cool thing is, this is going to be a site that builds out over time. It started right now with one of everyone's favorite, Lavender. This is arguably the most well-researched essential oil of all time ever. But interestingly enough, it has gaps in the research. No one's understood the pharmacokinetics of lavender. Guess who is doing a study on that right now? That'd be us. Yes. Now, that paper, as it gets published, will be here. Right now, The paper that's here is about the chemometrics of lavender essential oil, another thing that has never been studied before until Doterra did it. So, if you're on the site now, scroll all the way down to the bottom. There's a little button that says download the toolkit. This is my favorite part. It gives you shareable things to post on your social media. It gives you printouts and handouts. It gives you scripts as you're talking through these things so that you can feel confident having a paper in your hand, talking to somebody who's a medical or scientific professional and say, look, this is legitimate, right? This is a paper that was published by our research partners at the University of Mississippi School of Pharmacy. They work hand in hand testing for the FDA. This is one of the highest and most respected laboratories in the country, and they were excited to join with us in a research partnership. So that is no small paper to sneeze at. This is what you see when you enter that download the toolkit place. Right? You have got a bunch of downloadable information that you can print off, you can hand out, you can post. And this is the plan to do with all of our publications coming out so that you have an easy access and a place to be able to find them quickly. So this is just a couple more examples. These are some of the little, these are screenshots of some of the stuff that's in there, downloadable. You can talk about it now. Create some conversations on your social media. Get people talking, get people curious. Direct them back to the Source to You site and let them now look into the research and into the data. So let's talk a little bit about, now that you know that that's there, how do you use it? How do you leverage, as we talked about, this bridging of the gap between the research and your conversations with people? So take some time on this site. If this is the first time you're seeing it, hopefully you're excited to see it. Look around on it, poke around on it, understand what's there, and understand the framework that we're going to be using for putting out research moving forward. Download the images, start to use them and talk about them. Get your teams excited about them. They probably don't know about it either. It's kind of, we're rolling it out now. We wanted to make sure it was built and ready. It's ready. It's for you. It's for you and your teams. If you don't understand the things that are on there, this is an opportunity for you as well. This is not the end-all be-all. It's a good place to start. But do more research. Understand a little bit. Some basic things, maybe about the chemistry of the oils, or what is pharmacokinetics, if we're talking about that term. What is chemometrics? Even just understanding what a term means might help you be able to talk about it more confidently. And then share it, and teach it, and then know your audience. Okay, so let's talk about that for just a minute. We talked about wanting to share with our medical professionals, our scientific professionals. How do we? What speaks to them? What is their language? So I found an interesting article, a couple articles actually. Studies have actually been done understanding what makes medical professionals tick, what attracts someone to that profession, and then how does it manifest in them. Highly intellectual, of course. These are very smart people, very persistent people, understandably again, since they had to get through medical school. But compassionate and courageous and altruistic. These are some of the other ways that medical professionals were described in these research studies. Evidence-based skepticism. Okay, so taking a look at those last two bullet points, this is an opportunity for us to be able to talk to medical professionals. They want to help people. We have a way for them to help people, right? We just have to now help them understand, get past the skepticism, to understand why it works. Now, I love this quote. In science, being skeptical does not mean doubting the validity of everything, nor does it mean being cynical. Rather, to be skeptical is to judge the validity of a claim based on objective, empirical evidence, which we have. So, just as you got a call to action from Justin and Brooke, I'm going to call you to action as well, to practice talking to your colleagues, talking to a medical professional or a skeptic of any kind about the research that's being done around essential oils. Go visit this site where it's a good starting place if you're not very familiar with research in general. The paper that's there, the first one that's been posted on the site, is amazing. And it shows that Doterra Lavender is the best in the world, period. Simple. Then get curious. Whatever is your why, whatever is your fire, or whatever you have used to build your business, research about the oils that make it tick. Understand their chemistry. Find some papers about them, and then understand how your audience really needs that validity, right? As you're talking to those medical professionals, talk their language. And it takes some practice. So, practice with each other. My kids, they love role play. Have you guys ever done role play? You might find, if you have a team or you have fellow leaders, practice with them, let them be a skeptic, and then you talk to them, or vice versa. As you do that, I think you'll find you'll have some confidence in doing this. So, to be persuasive, we must be believable. To be believable, we must be credible. To be credible, we must be truthful. And the good news is, we have truth on our side. Because these essential oils have now been researched, have now been validated, and we're doing it in ways that have never been done before. And I hope you appreciate the excitement and the significance of that. Because this is the first time it's ever been done in all the history of humankind, which is very exciting to us. Yes. So just a brief story to end. When I was doing my doctoral work, my professor, he was a little spitfire. He was probably about this tall. He was a skeptic about everything. Enzymologist, so he understood the inner workings of the body and how everything worked. And when I came in wanting to do my doctoral work on essential oils, he thought that was crazy. Again, flim-flam, snake oil. And I was a little nervous, right? I'm giving this presentation about how to do it, and I was sitting there needing to do it, and I was feeling nervous about it. But I had a few papers that are my favorites, my go-to of how essential oils work, and we started talking. And I could see the wheels of his mind starting to work, and the fact that I wasn't nervous to answer his questions, I think made him curious. By the time I was about 3 months in to my dissertation work, he became a wellness advocate. Oh, okay. Yeah. By the time I finished my doctoral work, he had other people in the department enroll under him. Instead of having their weekend parties where they would go out and, get drunk and everything, they were having oil parties. So there's really no limit to what we can do, because we have an amazing product. We have you as amazing people who are sharing it. And we have a lot of people who want to do good in the world. Maybe they just don't know how. So let's talk to them and let's help them know how. Thank you so much.